Boker Tov, Shavua Tov. Continuing with now the Halachot of Lashon Hara Rechilut. We are in the section that deals with Avak Lashon Hara. So again, last time, just to repeat quickly, we translated this to be literally to mean the dust of Lashon Hara, but it's speaking about things that may not actually be Lashon Hara inherently, but may lead to someone to respond with Lashon Hara. So we said an example was, who would have thought that this person would turn out like this? Or let's not talk about him. I don't want to discuss what happened or what will be of him, for example. Those are classic examples of Avak Lashon Hara. So category number 3 is praising someone too highly. The Chafetz Chaim says that if one is overly effusive in his praise of another person, then even if the listeners are not his enemies, and even if they are his friends, it would be asur, since strong praise can elicit a negative response. It's a very interesting approach. The idea is we have to protect ourselves. It's like making like a hedge against the issue of Lashon Hara. So the Chafetz Chaim begins by saying if you praise someone extremely, overwhelmingly in front of other people, even if they're his friends or even if they're neutral people, you have to be careful because it often invites for a bad response. He says sometimes even the speaker himself will qualify his words with a statement such as, except for this one bad midah that he has. This person is the best at this. Then he thinks himself, wait, I said too much good, except he's known to be a little stingy, or whatever he throws in there. That's why this falls under the category of Avak Lashon Hara, of the dust of Lashon Hara, because inherently praising someone is not bad, but it easily invites for a negative response. There are 2 exceptions to this rule, and this will conclude for today. Number 1 is a shadchan, a matchmaker, who is trying to promote a prospective match to the other side, is not suspected of denigrating the subject, and therefore may be quite liberal in his positive description. So this, again, if the shadchan is trying to set someone up, he can be, in their language, very, very liberal and more flexible. Again, there's a very important nuance that you have to make sure that you're not, God forbid, lying or being over the issue of ona'ah, of falsehood, which is something that you just have to highlight anytime you say this halakha. However, if the other side is acquainted with the proposed family or individual, the shadchan must be more careful not to elicit a negative response from the listener, such as, why are you raving about them like that? I know that they are not so wonderful. So again, it's very important that when trying to set someone up, you're allowed to praise him overwhelmingly, but be mindful who you're speaking to. If they know each other and if they have history, and they might invite for a response like that, then you should be smarter in that speech. And number 2, strong praise of a chatan or kala during a Sheva Barachot speech, as is common, is not prohibited. So the minhag is when we speak under the chuppah or during the Sheva Barachot, you praise the chatan kala. You're allowed to do that. You're allowed to be extremely polite in your praises of them, and not concerned someone's going to chime in the middle of the Divrei Torah and say, no, you're lying, it's not like this. So these are 2 exceptions that the Chachamim bring and the Achronim bring. We'll continue with these halachot tomorrow. Have one of them. Chazak u'baruch.